Few. So today's case study topic is how to increase the annual recurring revenue for Hotstar. The case study flow would be like this. First, we will try to understand the problem statement, identify the type of users, and target the user we want to solve the problem for. And then we'll go into identifying the pain points and the needs of the user. We'll prioritize it, brainstorm on the solution, evaluate the solution, define the success metrics, and then we'll conclude it by summarizing. This will be the flow of the case study session. Now, going to the first step of the case study, right? I've already told that the question is to increase the ARR, the annual recurring revenue, right? And I've given the answer as well, right? First step of the first step is to deconstruct the question clearly. To increase the ARR, first we need to find out the levers. What all levers are there to increase the ARR, right? So for that, I've written down a formula, right? Annual recurring revenue is equal to yearly subscription revenue plus any other recurring revenue minus lost revenue due to cancellation, right? What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this particular definition? And are we missing anything, or what is your opinion? And how? What are so these are the three levers I've told, right? So, but you cannot just stop with this and then go to the next part of the case study. You need to deconstruct it even more. How would you do that? Come on, guys. Answers. Everyone is on mute.
If we want to decrease the cost and increase the number of subscribers.
Okay. Okay. And that is one answer. That is one answer. Decreasing cost, increasing the revenue. You're saying. Okay. Got it. Any other things? This is a formula, right? What are the if? But this formula is like it's not very clear. I would say. How else would you deconstruct this in a simple manner before you start the case study?
de deconstruct this formula like number of yearly subscribers and subscription charges
Okay. Okay.
and
That
other
is
kind of revenues that can be added.
okay. Okay. That I've already written down here. But anyway, good try. But what other levers you would say? I've written it in a particular way, but this can be written in a different way as well. What is it?
So when we are saying yearly subscription revenue, is it yearly subscription revenue from new users or existing users?
That's a very good important question. Yeah, that is the those are the two different uses, right? To increase the revenue, what you can do is you can tap into the existing pool of users. Correct? From an existing pool of users, you have to increase the number of paid users. That is one way. The next way it could be to bring in more paid users. Basically, increase existing paid users or bring in new paid users who were not in Hotstar before. Basically, new users. These are the two levers, and third lever is pretty clear actually. And the existing user, you should not lose the existing users, right? If you lose that again, then again, even though you're bringing in new people, you're increasing the paid users, existing paid users from basically I'll write this in a different way. Existing free to paid users. Even if you do these two things, right? But the existing paid users, if you don't retain them, retention is not good, still the ARR is not going to increase, right? This is how you can construct, and this part you can do it in such a way that any other recurring revenue, it's pretty straightforward. You bring in new form of revenue, right? New form of subscription. But I'll write down the third part as well, right? These are the three levers that you should focus on. So any other inputs you guys have before I hand it over to Anurag?
I think upgrading the existing paid users for the higher paying subscription plans, because
That's
there
a
may be different subscription plans, right?
Yes, that is a very good point. So basically, there are different tiers of paid subscription. You move the paid user from one tier to an higher level.
One higher level.
Exactly, very good input.
Okay, I have one last question. When you
Yeah.
say any other recurring revenue, is it any other A? What are the streams we are talking about? And these recurring revenues, we are specifically talking about revenues from the users, right? And not from any other source, right? Like
There is no
advertising
restriction.
or
I
something.
have not told specifically whether it is for users or not. It's open to interpretation. That is a good question you have asked. So for now, I'll leave it up to Anurag. He can decide which one we should focus on. But I'll write down the last point. Move the paid user from lower tier to higher tier. Great. I think Anurag, you can give your opinion.
Yeah.
Did we do good?
Thanks, Ravi. Yeah, so if I were to sort of solve this problem, if I'm facing this problem in an interview setting, the way I would start, see, the first thing is to get on the exact same page with the interviewer, right? And
Hmm.
call out, understand the goals very, very clearly, which we have done to some extent here, and then also understand, make certain assumptions and understand if you are missing out something, right? So when we talk about annual recurring revenue, obviously you have to break it down into the different revenue streams that the
Hmm.
organization might have,
Hmm.
right? And you
Yes.
might not be privy to all the different kinds of ways in which Hotstar is currently monetizing,
Hmm.
right? So we, at least what I would do is I would first call out what are the different sources of revenue that I understand today, right? Exactly the question that Shayan was asking,
Exactly.
right? So I'll say that obviously one clear revenue source is definitely the subscription revenue,
Hmm.
but I also understand that Hotstar probably has a hybrid model, right? So you have like a freemium model as well. So there are a lot of free users that you are monetizing via ads, right?
Yes.
And that can also potentially be a huge sort of revenue stream for an organization like Hotstar, given that it's actually a media company in some sense, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So, like the way you monetize TV, you're also monetizing OTT by running ads, right? So, a
Hmm.
lot of free users, you're not monetizing directly through subscriptions, but you're running a lot of ads.
Hmm. Yes.
The third question that Shayan asked very beautifully is that that's the consumer revenue, right? So,
Hmm.
every time you think of revenue, there is also consumer revenue and enterprise revenue,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
So first I would do maybe B2B plus B2C revenue.
Hmm.
Within B2C, I'll say that you know what, you have subscription revenue plus ads revenue. Maybe there are other sources of revenue, so you have to ask your interviewer, is there anything else that you're missing in this bucket? And similarly, on the B2B side, right, you can talk about maybe you have partnerships with other people, right, where they are able to run content, your content on their platform, right? So for example, for the longest time, Hotstar had partnerships with, let's say, Geo, right,
Hmm.
or with other sort of telecom. It's actually quite a like very common these days that a lot of OTTs are partnering for distribution with a lot of telecom companies, right?
Partnership.
Because telecom
Hmm.
companies have the right, and there is definitely some revenue share agreement, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So maybe you are getting some sizable, significant percentage of revenue also from your B2B partnerships.
Hmm.
So you kind of break down everything, and then you from
Hmm.
there first,
Hmm.
if you understand all the revenue streams,
Hmm.
then you further break down the individual levers, right?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
you've done a good job on the subscription revenue, right? So obviously subscription revenue then further needs to be broken down into
Hmm.
new users, existing users, and how existing users can be converted into paid users. Similarly, maybe there are some interesting levers for advertising revenue. I'll leave it out of scope for today's discussion,
Hmm.
but there's some interesting levers that can be done in the advertising revenue bucket also. And then there are some interesting levers that can be done on the B2B side also, right? To like find out who else would be interested in a partnership with you, right? And how
Hmm.
can it be a win-win situation for both parties,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
I'll give you an example. For example, maybe Geo today has launched its own sort of Geo Cinema app, right? And they're getting into streaming in a big way. But maybe Vodafone is a good candidate to partner with, right?
Hmm.
Because they want to increase their existing user base, right?
Hmm.
And they still have a sizable user base. They are player number three in the market. Airtel also has its own OTT app, but Vodafone probably is still a good partner because they are number three in the
Hmm.
market. They have good sort of penetration in large urban circles like Karnataka, right?
Hmm.
Bangalore, etc. Right? They have decent amount of licenses, so they can be a good candidate, right? It can be a
Hmm.
win-win situation for both of Vodafone. They get net subscriber additions because Hotstar is now a partner with them.
Hmm.
Hotstar gets some revenue share agreement for each new user acquisition that or whatever, right? It
Hmm.
can be something, right? So if the user came because there was a Hotstar pack, so you can have a rev share agreement that whatever, let's say 300 rupees is the ARPU per month, maybe one third of it, 100 rupees goes to Hotstar,
Hmm. Got it. Got it.
right?
I think thanks for the inputs, Anurag. So shall we focus on subscription for now because
Absolutely.
B2B
Let's focus on subscription because it will lead to a very good conversation, I
very
think. And
convenient.
we want to focus on the B2C side more because
Exactly.
most of the product problems in the industry
Hmm.
are also like more on the B2C side.
B2C subscription revenue. Okay,
I hope I was clear on all the three buckets that I spoke about. If anyone has
definitely.
any,
I think we can open the session for the for a Q&A as well. Guys, you can ask any questions or shall we move on? Okay. Moving on to the next site. Okay. We have decided that we are going to focus
I
on.
had a question.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, since we were talking about the different revenue streams that were available, so personally for me, I consume Hotstar via my, let's say, the cable TV guy. So, would that be considered as a B2B stream or would that be come under B2C? Like, it's not an India player; it's just a local player. So, would that be considered as a B2B avenue or a B2C avenue? And so,
can you also detail out the which exactly is the player that you are getting it from, and so that I can probably better understand it. See, it can be depending on the construct of the model, right? The revenue partnership, right? It can be you can call it B2C or you can call it B2B. Though I would rather put it on the B2B side, right?
Hmm.
Because there's some effort in also identifying partners
Hmm.
and cracking those partnerships, right? So would still say it is B2B because the content is getting distributed through a third party partner, right? So tomorrow if I go
right,
partner with Flipkart, right? Like
right,
Flipkart is also trying to do some entertainment, some content, right, to increase retention for its users. Now Hotstar can partner with Flipkart, right? So eventually it's a B2B construct, right? Because you are partnering with an organization and that organization is responsible for distributing your content to eventual users.
right, right. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll move on. Right. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So since we are going to focus on B2C subscription revenue, we have to focus on the new and paid users, right? Before that, first we have to define the type of users that we want to target. All right, the user persona, I would say. So now Hotstar can for a typical person who's into OTT, you can divide the segments based on many types, based on the type of content that they consume, frequency of usage, demographics, and anything. Okay. For this, I would say I would suggest let's divide it based on the type of content. Right. Can you guys list down the different types of content that is available in Hotstar? Basis which we can divide the user. Don't say I mean, try to think at a at a broader level. Okay. TV shows, movies, series. Okay.
Sports. It can be the genre like
Okay.
humor, or it can be something series, different kind of series.
Okay, you're going deep. I'm just writing down whatever you guys are saying. Then we'll take an opinion from Anurag. Okay. Different types of series. Okay. Any other answers?
Sports.
Okay. Sports. That is just one segment, right? What would you compare it with?
Free content and paid content.
Okay. So here we want to increase the revenue. So if that is the goal. Do you really want to divide the segment into free and paid, and then focus on paid? Because how would you do? I mean, do you think that is a good approach?
Like sports can be divided into like cricket and other sports in
Within
cricket.
sports using, I think we'll leave it at genre. I think genre, right? Type of content: comedy, sports, historical, biography. We'll just leave it at that. Any other points?
Maybe also by language.
Great. Any other type?
Length of the content, it's duration of that content,
Okay.
because it depends.
Okay. Okay, got it. I'm just writing down whatever you guys are saying. Any other points?
Which brands have we partnered with, like whether it's from Pixar or Hotstar's own Hotstar specials or Marvel, and based on that, the motivation of users?
Okay. When you say brands, what exactly do you mean? Can you give examples?
Like from various production houses, what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay. Like HBO and other stuff. Is it production houses? Okay. That is. I would say it's a little too deep, because people are not going to. I would say a little deep, but let's ask Anurag and Tendra. Any other type of specifications?
Recorded versus live content.
That could be one. Any other type?
Uh, Here, Ravi, from
Yes.
this side. We can also launch summary kind of content.
See, launch in the what do you I mean, do you're suggesting a solution, is it? Is that what you're doing?
Okay, yeah, it might be a solution.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's not jump into the solution. We'll go there. We'll go first. Let's. I'm trying to list down. Divide, identify the users based on type of content. All right. For that, I'm asking what could be the different ways in which you can segregate.
Hmm.
Okay. I think we have covered many things. Anurag, over to you. Like, are we on the right track? Is there any other way in which you would, I'm talking about there are many ways in which you can divide this user persona, but within type of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good breakdown. I'll just add a few more points here just to clarify it. So when see my strategy when I walk into and Ravi already sort of pointed you guys into the content direction, which is the right direction to take, right? How do you even decide which direction to take is basis uh, map it map it from a user's
Hmm.
like any consumer product problem. You have to map it back to the user's mindset, right?
Hmm.
You imagine yourself as a user, right? If you come to an OTT app, right, different users have different preferences, right? And where
Hmm.
do those content preferences lie? It's not basis that I would not do a gender demographic segmentation as much, right? But it's hard to say that that a female likes a certain female would consume certain things and male would consume certain things, right? So demographic segmentation is probably not a great way to segment when you're solving an OTT case study, right? It will come automatically to you, right? When you start connecting it logically back to the user, you will realize that maybe the right way to break it down is the kind of content the user is consuming or how frequently he's coming onto the app, etc., right? How much time he's spending, etc. Because ultimately it's an OTT app, right? Maybe in some other case, maybe a demographic segmentation would make much more sense, right? So that is how you would pick the vector that you want to play. Now within that vector again, obviously the subcategories are first thing to do is basically you can definitely split. Let's say you chose content, you can split it by the different large verticals that the company already offers, right? If you go to Hotstar app, you'll find there is a separate movies vertical,
Hmm.
there's a separate sports vertical, right? There is a separate, let's say, shows vertical, right? There's a reason why it is that way, right? Because the organization or the player understands that these are different specific segments that individuals are interested in. A lot of people are movie centric. They love watching movies. They're not too much into daily soaps, right? But then there is given the Hotstar demographic, a lot of their TV users also consume Hotstar, right, as a supplement channel, right? So obviously then the shows and the soaps and the series also becomes like one large vertical, the TV shows, right, which we call as general entertainment content, right, GEC, right?
Hmm.
In the media industry, it is called as GEC, general entertainment content, right? And then obviously sports is a very large vertical for Hotstar, and primarily that you can further break it down. You can say that you know what the English premium guy is probably watching English Premier League also, so he's probably spending time on football also. He's
Hmm.
spending time on tennis also. But by and large, I think intuitively all of you understand that by and large the sports content catalog on Hotstar is primarily cricket centric. That's what Hotstar became known for, right? So that's how you can break it down, right? So that's definitely one way. The other way is obviously, again, when you are breaking down the content, you have to keep in mind you have to keep going back to the user, right? And the demographics, right? So obviously the regional content, right? The language point was a great point, right? And then within movies also, obviously you can further like wherever there's a deep catalog, like for example something like movies, right? You can further segment it down. If it's a large enough catalog to say, you know what, some people are interested in comedy, people are interested in biographies, some people are interested in thrillers, you can go down that path, right? Like again, the key point being that at every stage you agree with your interviewer that these are some of the vectors I want to use, these are some of the slices I want to use, right? For example, a great example was the brand example, right? Someone mentioned that maybe some users are only interested in Pixar, some people
Hmm.
are only interested in, let's say, the Disney content on Hotstar, right? Feel free, right? Show your creativity, but agree with the interviewer that do you want
Hmm.
me to go down that path or not,
Hmm.
right? And the interviewer will probably pull you back saying that no, no, people who generally consume Disney content also consume Pixar content, right? It's still
Hmm.
content that pretty much everyone universally likes, right? So don't go down that deep or subslice it that deep,
Hmm.
right? So that kind of makes sense, right? Now coming to stuff like length of content, just you can put it out there, but just think of yourself, right?
Hmm.
If a content is exciting enough for you, let's say you might be spending, let's say on Hotstar, you might be spending, let's say, 1 hour watching a cricket match, right? And then you might also be binge watching, let's say, 20 minutes during your busy day, binge watching some content for a series that you like, right? So you kind of all across the spectrum, you're consuming 20 minutes also, you're consuming 1 hour also, right? So hard to say that length of content is a great sort of
Hmm.
slice to it, right? Similarly, recorded versus live. Again, maybe not such a great vector to go down, but simply because a lot of people watch live sports, but then they also binge watch all the Marvel
Hmm.
Avengers series, right? And then they are binge watching maybe the Nat Geo Discovery content also, right? So again, maybe you would not want to go down the path of recorded versus live content also, right? Because a typical user's nature is to consume both. Anything that is content that is exciting for you, you will go ahead and consume it, be it live or recorded, right? So maybe not worth going down that path, right? So whenever you are kind of presenting this to your interview, show some creativity, but also don't put out stuff that might feel jarring to the interviewer. Boss, you're just putting it out there just for the sake of it, right? Just every time you're slicing it, think of it from a normal human being perspective, right? Think of yourself as a user, right? Especially for products like Hotstar, right? Everyone consumes it. You will get your answer automatically. You don't even need to check with your interviewer.
Got it. And Anurag, can we focus on the broader division which is already present, right? TV shows.
Yep, works.
We'll
Yes.
do that. Chosen segment, chosen type. Okay. Great. Now let's go to the. I'll put this here. Right. These are the different segments. See again, when we won't be able to target all the segments in this product case study because it is going to take a lot of time to understand each segment and come up with solution and prioritizing it. So out of which, right, we have to identify the pain points. To identify the pain points, I would suggest let's choose one vertical of this, right? So we'll select TV shows. I think nowadays people mainly go to OTT for that, right? They at least started with that. Now they are expanding into other things. Now let's the selected user persona for this is TV shows. I think Anurag, this is fine, right? We'll be able to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
some good
works.
insights, right? Okay, guys. Now I'm opening up the floor to everyone. Now let's identify the pain points. Keep in mind, we need to take care of the existing paid users, right? We need to retain them and we need to possibly move them from tier 1 to tier 2. If they are paying like basic paid version, we need to make them move them into a premium version, all right, so that we can get more revenue out of it. And at the same time we need to convert the free into paid users and then bring in new paid users from outside as well. Three levers are there as we discussed here, right? Actually, four: converting free to paid, bring in new paid, retain existing paid, move the paid user from lower tier to higher. So I'll copy this so that it helps you guys. Now let's brainstorm. What are all the different pain points for these four tiers? With respect to TV shows, people who watch TV shows, they are our segment, and these are the type of users. Let's brainstorm, guys. Let's start for paid users. I'm just writing down everything. Free users, non-users, that is like someone who doesn't have a Hotstar account. Okay, come on, open to you guys. saying free users can't watch TV shows because it's before it's being televised in Star channels. Okay, okay. Basically, you are saying Karthik is telling that I can't see shows. Um, what is it? Uh, when it is at the same time when it is getting air. Okay. Any other points? Come on, guys. This is where you show off actually. Give your points. Watch together with others or watch party feature unavailable. See, again, I think you're kind of jumping into the solution. I would say, right? Let's go there. That is the next step. Let's figure out this. It's a simple task, right? These are the type of users I want to watch. These users want to watch TV shows, or they're already watching TV shows. What are all the pain points that they currently have? Think.
Maybe even if paid users are there, some paid users might not be in a position to select their uh, liking TV show because of their subscription plan.
Okay, you're saying. Can you
There may be
elaborate
some
that?
show.
Hmm?
There may be some show which is not available in his own selected subscribe plan.
Okay. Okay. But he knows that, right? Are you saying that he is sitting in a different country because of which he is not able to say, or he has intentionally chosen a base paid package, and he is frustrated over a content that is available only for the higher package?
Yeah, because my understanding is the which show is included in which plan,
Hmm.
that is decided by Hotstar, right?
Okay.
That is not decided by the customer.
Okay.
So at the time of subscribing, he may not be aware that exactly which shows will be included in this plan.
Okay. Got it. Got it. So basically, this is where there's a frustration of a paid user. Um, you're saying
So
few contents
mm,
are. Let me write that down just a second. Now, few contents are not available
For
for
his subscription plan.
their entire subscription plan. Okay. Hey,
so
yeah, yes,
one more similar point I would like to add
yes,
here.
Atul, yeah.
So nowadays, contents are these OTT platform specific. Some content is available on Amazon. Some content is available on Netflix.
Hmm.
So one cannot buy all of the subscriptions. So that is one more point which paid users are facing.
Okay. See, when we say paid users, right? This I'm specifically talking about within the ecosystem of Hotstar. Now, the one that you're talking about, right? It's like I want to be a paid user. That means I'm a non-user, right? I want to be a paid
Okay.
user, but I don't want to pay unless I get everything in a single bucket, single plan.
I mean to say, if I am a paid user of Hotstar,
Okay.
but the content which is new and which I want to see, that is not available on Hotstar. That is
Okay.
available on Amazon Prime
Got it. Um,
and or on Netflix.
okay. Lack of content. Okay. I'll put it simply. Content that I like, not in Hotstar, right? Which is
Right.
prevent.
Yeah. Those nowadays these OTT platforms buy their rights,
Hmm.
so other OTT platforms cannot mm,
Hmm. Got it.
provide that. Like we would say the famous series
Got it.
Money Heist. Money
Hmm.
Heist was on Netflix, not on
Netflix.
Hotstar.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Atul. Those are a good point. I think many people have written their comments as well. What is content exclusivity? I think Cyan has pointed out that a non-user content is exclusively available on app. Okay.
I would like to add one more point. So,
Okay.
when you sit with the family and going for a TV show, we are not aware whether it is a family friendly show or not. So, if
Okay.
we are getting that much review, something like that, that will be helpful. Another thing is like when you are going in a TV show, TV shows are long. They are like you have to spend around like if it is season, then around like 10 5 to 10 seasons, then you need to invest lot of amount of time. So if you are also providing that this output of the TV show, what we'll be getting, if you are sitting with the family and watching it, then this will may help your children to be more talkative, or like they are helping them in different directions in extracurricular
Again,
activities.
I feel you're on the lines of solution. Is it actually the one that you said? Is it actually preventing you from becoming a paid user?
Yeah, it's means currently I'm not willing to go for the shows, or I got confused while selecting the shows
Hmm.
because of that, because I'm not getting or don't know whether the show is heading exactly. So
See, there are two different problems, right? One is I want to become a paid user, because of which I'll have some pain points. But the one that you're mentioning is choosing the content. It is like to even becoming a Hotstar user, right? Or any OTT. You're like specific to any OTT. I don't know what type of content that is, because of which I don't want to even select go see content in OTT. Correct? That is what you're telling.
yeah, but it will also helpful for us to upgrade the people. If you have a upgraded user, then it will be help. We can give you more kind of information which is helpful for you to get select the content type or something. Yeah, it's kind of a solution.
That
I
is what I'm telling.
use.
It's a solution.
Yeah.
That is, it is a solution. You're going like, what is preventing you? My question is like,
Hmm.
what is preventing you from becoming a paid user?
I have a point.
Yeah.
So basically, what I see is in Hotstar, if you are watching some TV shows, after some time, those shows will be available to everyone. So
Hmm.
I would say that I do not want to be a paid user because I can watch the same thing after 2 hours or after 3 hours or something like that.
Exactly. That is a pain. I mean, that is a pain point. I won't say, but from for a free user, that prevents me from becoming a paid user, right?
Correct.
Um,
There is nothing additional that I'll be getting. Like after
exactly.
2 hours, I'll be the same.
Uh, Free after few days or so. So I don't want to become a want to buy a free paid package. Okay, great. Others, I think. Let me read down the comments here before you guys. You know, so I think many people have given. Cyan has given content exclusivity. Non. Cyan, can you explain this?
Okay, so just this point, because I have put like multiple points.
Yeah, yeah.
So shall I
Yeah,
put
you can. You
all?
can. You can explain quickly.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. So my first point is content exclusivity. For a non-user, obviously knowing that this content is available on the platform makes me become a user, even if it
Hmm.
is a free user, right? Now,
Okay.
as a free user, I can see that certain content is exclusively for the paid user groups. So I would want to become a paid user. So
Hmm.
that's something right now is a driver for me to become a paid user.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Same then as a free user, not a non-user. So I have become a free user now, but I see ads coming in between,
Okay.
and I would want to bypass that. So if I want to bypass that, then I would want to become a paid user, which can obviously become like a pop-up coming through in between. That if you become a paid user, you will not be seeing this ads this frequently, or you would not be seeing this ads at all. Right. So
Hmm.
that makes me become a paid user. So that's another pain point. That can be another pain point for me. Uh, Coming to paid users, so it can be possible that for a paid user, for a higher tier, multiple screens can be available, and also the screens can be available across devices,
Hmm.
be it on mobile or be it on maybe let's say a laptop or a TV, something like that. So multiple user, multiple screens, and across multiple devices can be another point for me to move to a higher tier. And an
Um.
example that what I'm taking here is
Hmm.
from Netflix, which Netflix provides for a higher tier.
Okay. So, Cyan, I think good points. So there are two ways of looking at it, right? One is why you all the points that you've listed down, right? You are telling why I should become a paid user,
Yes.
right? The focus of the discussion is to increase the revenue. That means you have already told the solution, right? That is like intentionally kept ads and everything has been kept intentionally to push you to the to become a paid user. My point is here the discussion of the yesterday is why people are not moving. You're saying why people should move, right? And my point is like why existing free user is not becoming a paid user. If you put ads, right, that is a blocker. He might become that you're understanding the division, right?
Yes.
So why is he not moving? That is the point. For example, this Sonakshi mentioned content is, I know that it's going to become free after a few days, so why should I move? Why should I buy a paid package? That is actually preventing me from becoming a paid member. So let's think in terms of, right, what is preventing the users from becoming a paid member? Any other points?
Yeah, I would like to add one more point, which cannot be related to this, but it comes in my mind. So it should be a pay-per-use type of subscription, because if I'm going to buy 3 months or 1 year plan, and I'm not going to use that for 6 months in a year, so
Hmm.
that 6 months amount will be wasted.
Exactly, exactly. It's a very good, very important. Basically, affordability, and frequency of. I might not use it every month. I don't. I just want to use it only during the time of IPL. Right. So that is preventing me for free uses. Affordability can be a separate point. Frequency of usage is less. I would say subscription period. That is a pain point, right? Too high. Okay. Any other?
Can
Yeah.
can one reason be lack of interest in TV shows these days?
Okay, that can be the reason, Sonakshi, but our segment itself is TV shows,
Okay, okay, fine.
right?
So I had brought out one more point. I was thinking
Yes,
in
sir.
terms of the demographic. So TV shows are generally consumed by elderly or let's say housewives, right? Are they even aware that these shows are available on this platform so that they can be a paid user? And is the app easy for them or the platform is easy for them to use? So maybe
Hmm.
that's something that's preventing them because
Hmm.
of the way it's laid out. It's
Hmm.
preventing them to use it.
Okay, so you're talking about non-users. That much I'm clear. You're
Yes.
saying here, why are they not becoming a paid member from for a new user, non-user? Why are they not becoming a paid member of Hotstar? What is
Yes. So
preventing them from doing it?
yes. Yes.
But the points that you're telling is they are not even aware. Like,
Yes.
okay,
So
okay,
I'm trying to bring them on the platform itself.
okay. Non-visibility, sorry, lack of visibility over what is available in Hotstar, right? This with respect to TV shows. Any other points?
Uh, Also, I feel that currently, even if you want one screen, but you want it on the big screen, like for example, we are talking about TV shows, and maybe they are watched only by elderly, so they might not be so much tech savvy that they would want to watch it on mobile, but they would rather want it on TV, where
Okay.
they will have to directly subscribe to a very high amount of plan, like the affordability factor, even for a single screen, but only for big screen, is not priced appropriately.
Affordability,
Right. Yeah,
affordability, basically.
affordability, but in a different way.
Got it, got it. But that's intentionally done to push the users. But your general point is
Yeah,
affordability. I don't want to pay too much to see it in a what is it, mobile mobile view. All right.
correct.
Got it. I think we'll go through other points. Can't see reviews of TV shows. Is that preventing you, Atanul? Is that preventing you from becoming a paid member? Right, that is a question. High loading time ads. Again, it's a reflex. Next one is then unavailability of popular. Basically, content availability. Right. Okay. I think we should write this somewhere. Here we have written it in a different connotation. Few contents are not available in the plan. Here, content availability. T.
I would suggest to add this in paid thing, no, because generally paid users expect more content. Like,
That is what is written here, right? In a way, for a particular tire, the content that I want to know,
got it,
it's
got
not
it.
there. In a way, it is written, but we are generally covering that part only.
Yeah.
And content that I like is not in Hotstar. That also talks about availability only. Okay. Existing popular sports were not renewed. Basically, content availability for paid users, single versus multi-screen. I think this it was video quality. Okay, I think Abhishek, is that preventing you from becoming a paid member? That is what I would. I think you're going into the solution angle, content availability, users may be disappointed if the desired shows are not available. Again, availability, generic need of price sensitivity. I think we talked about affordability. From a demographic, shows are not generally consumed by elderly. Okay, this I think you already told, right? Uh, not much entertaining. Okay, it's already told. Hotstar only has 7 regional. Basically, availability you guys are talking about. That comes out in everywhere. One thing that I noticed. Can you guys explain? Guy, I think you guys. It's great that I think many people have commented.
Ravi, a point is like content assurance. Like, say if I am like going for premium version today, after 6 months, what if that content goes out from Hotstar? What is the assurance of the content we guys are giving? Say I'm like procuring for IPL or something. No, what if like Disney goes out or like Geo procures no that content assurance?
Okay. Okay. Here, if someone watches Hotstar, I have already seen the content, right? Why would I want to see that content after 6 months? Like, is that a deciding factor for me to renew? Like, I might have already seen the show Friends. Okay, after 6 months when I'm renewing, a Friends show is not available. I'm just giving an example. It's not there in Hotstar. Okay, it is not
He's
there in.
talking about Indian TV shows which run for years.
See, you take
Okay,
IPL as well, also an example. I am like might take IPL, assuming it will be in Hotstar, but
okay,
suddenly it got acquired by Geo TV or something.
got
What
it.
is the content
Discontinuation,
assurance?
discontinuation of content that you like, right? That is what you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Okay, discontinue again. That goes into availability only in a way, right? We've covered that angle, but you put it in a different way. Great.
Customer support, I would say.
Exactly. Can you elaborate on that customer support?
Let's say for paid users, they they may face challenges in accessing the timely customer support or resolving any technical issues
Okay.
when they are using the Hotstar.
Okay.
So at least they need a responsive or at least efficient customer support. So let's say a helpline or a live chat at least to provide their
Again,
assistance.
you are going into the solution. Are you saying that existing paid? I got frustrated with this because of
The
which.
existing paid users, they may face uh, and that okay, I'm not getting
Hmm.
there is a problem with my app, and there is no helpline or there is no live chat at least available.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Hotstar provides this or not. This
Can
could
we think
be.
on also suggestion engine? So people are spending too much time only on deciding what we want to watch.
Hmm.
So every time happens like we open the Hotstar and then we are just scrolling for 10-15 minutes. We are not able to decide what we want to watch, and then we get dropped off. So,
Okay.
means suppose I am a paid user, I go through it, I have full access to all the content, but I'm not able to decide it. Then after a month, figure it out. Ki, yeah, I'm not able to watch in that much of time. So let's get. I don't want to subscribe it again. But if you have a better suggestion engines, then
Okay.
I will definitely go for it. So
Basically,
that's my
content
suggestion to paid
content
users.
discovery is not good,
Yeah, we can say.
but for paid users, this. Uh,
Mm, yeah, because we have a user persona,
got
paid
it.
users.
Even this could be for free users as well, no? They
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
not able to discover the content.
Agreed. Agreed. Actually, this is the core problem because
Yes,
people are not able to utilize the value
right.
of Hotstar. That if I have to pay something, I need to know what is in Hotstar. I'm not able to figure that out.
Yep.
Right. I think that is a very important problem for any OTT. Too many free content. I'm not sure how that is a. Okay, that I think we already covered, right? If I can wait for free content, I won't become a paid user. Already covered. Suggestion engine is not good. I think this thing told. Next, and then for a paid user, the playback experience seems better compared to, again, this will. I'm
Uh,
not sure how this will.
I
Can you explain for the correct?
Yeah. So what I meant is, if I like play any series on Netflix,
Hmm.
so first of all I can watch it at different speeds and playback. That is a feature. Then
Okay.
if I want to watch it along with my friends, that is a feature.
Hmm.
So I will be more inclined to renew my Netflix subscription because of that, compared to if I want, because I don't have that feature on Hotstar. I'll want to stick to shows on Netflix because I know I can watch it with my friends. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so basically you're saying I don't. There is a feature that is not present in Hotstar but present somewhere else, because of which
Yes,
I don't want to become a paid user of Hotstar.
yes, yeah,
Okay, so basically it's, you're talking about non users, right? Just a sec. Let me put the bucket point here. Lack of unique features that I want. Okay, that is present somewhere else. Okay, got it. Any other? Okay, last one maybe across all the ones. Okay, I think we discussed this, right? Okay, any other points, guys? Any other points? I think Balakrishnan, you already told, right? I'm lowering you. Okay, I think it was an interesting set of items and pain points we got. I'll open the floor to Anurag. Anurag, did we? I think over and all, many things people have covered. Anything did
Yeah.
we miss, Anurag?
Yeah, I think the list looks pretty good. Like I'll keep sort of stressing on this point that in a actual setting when you are solving this case study, you have to be you have to have a very structured way of how you come up with the pain points,
Hmm.
right? It shouldn't be like just a discovery process that you keep coming up with the ideas, ideas,
Hmm.
ideas, and then you keep bucketing whether it's a
Hmm.
true pain point or not, right? So again, sort of stressing on the same point that think of it from the lens of a user. So let's talk
Hmm.
about free users first, right?
Hmm.
First bucket, right? So if I'm a free user, exactly, you guys pointed out the correct things. But when I will think about the free user bucket, the way I'll think about it is basically the user has a cost to pay, right? And then basically the user receives certain value in return,
Hmm.
right? Now I will break down the cost bucket further, right? And I'll say the cost bucket could be a blocker for the user, right? That's primarily the construct, right, of a free
Hmm.
user. The user is not signing up because I'm
Hmm.
not able to convince him
Hmm.
that the cost that you have to play is commensurate with the value that you're going to receive
Hmm.
eventually, right? So the cost bucket will I'll further break it down, right? So the cost bucket, obviously, the first bucket is affordability,
Hmm.
right? Second bucket within the cost is like non-users, right? I
Hmm.
sign up for it, but I have to, I'm forced to sign up for a 6 month plan or whatever, right? So again, kind of a subset of affordability, but kind of goes in that bucket.
Hmm.
In the value bucket, you can further say that I am not able to showcase the value. So showcase the value means that maybe I'm not able to drive discovery of
Hmm.
relevant content. I'm not able to convince the guy that
Hmm.
I have enough content or deep content, like I have a deep content catalog on my platform that it is worth signing up for, right? So it could be a discovery problem, right? It could be a sampling problem. When he came onto the app, right, and I showcased a bunch of things, right, and then unfortunately that did not match the user's interest. He went away,
Hmm.
right. So one could be discovery problem, that content depth problem. The other problem is the onboarding didn't kick in as per the persona of the user, right? So he likes a particular kind of content, and I was not able to drive discovery of
Hmm.
that kind of content, right? Third thing is in terms of value, primarily it's content led, but maybe it could be other features, right? So maybe I'm offering a multi-device experience, right? Multi-screen experience or multi-device experience, or maybe I'm offering offline downloads,
Hmm.
right? Maybe in today's era with mobile internet becoming ubiquitous, maybe offline downloads is it's not worth it, right? I'm like kind of straddling between solution and pain point, but effectively maybe the premium tier that you're offering, the features in there are dead. They don't make sense to the user, right? So that is how I would kind of break it down, right? Now affordability, then the vectors are affordability. What are the vectors, right? I want to pay as little as possible and get a flavor of the premium experience, right? How can I do it? I can do it on the time dimension, right? I can reduce the pack. I say, ki, boss, you can buy a monthly pack. You can buy a 3 month pack. You can buy a 6 month pack. You can buy a 9 month pack, full year plan. Whatever works for you. I can go as micro as saying that, you know what? if you like Game of Thrones, you buy a pack only for Game of Thrones. You just unlock that particular content, right? So on the time dimension, you're playing and you're slicing it down and making it as granular as possible for the end user, right? अब मुझे अगर सिर्फ IPL देखना है and I'm only interested in Chennai Super Kings, I follow that team. I should be allowed to buy a pack that allows me to watch only Chennai Super King matches. I'm not even interested in the other damn whatever 80 other matches that are happening in IPL, right? Can I offer him customization that gives him affordability, right? Another way of offering affordability, again, these are not things that Hotstar has done. We're just like telling you what else could have been done, what else.
And Anurag, sorry to interrupt. I think we are discussing into the solutions part as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
have a separate
Yeah,
actually
sure, sure,
slide for
sure,
that.
sure. I'm
So
just saying, yeah.
mm,
So affordability
mm,
becomes one point, discovery becomes one point. Third, you are not able to not able
customers.
to convince the user with the value with respect to the paid plan, right?
Okay.
The offerings that you have in the paid plan is not worth it, right? Simple. Those are three large vectors. That's it. Everything else is a subset of that, right?
Got it. Got it.
Right. For paid users, again, similar challenges. So the paid users have already converted. That means at least your basic offering is correct. You have definitely convinced them with respect to at least the content availability on the platform to some extent. At boss, there is IPL out there, right, or whatever the sports content out there. There is TV content out there. It appeals to you. Then what are the other things that the paid user might have problems with? A paid user like might be might want a wonderful buffer free experience, right? Like a very basic expectation that you have from an OTT platform, right? Completely buffer free, even on patchy networks, right? Especially given that the OTT content is consumed on the go in a lot of cases. So that means you will be on patchy content, right? So basic expectation is that the content should stream buffer free flawlessly in every environment, right? First thing that could be a pain point, right. The the other big pain point is that boss, uh, I like I watch certain content, now I'm out of content, right? You are not able to drive discovery of good content for me, right? You are not able to give me good recommendations of content as per my past watch history, right? That could be a huge pain point, right? The third pain point would could be that again you will have to slice and dice your users and understand your customer demographics. But one big pain point could be that, you know what, to watch your content, not only I have to buy your subscription, bloody I have to keep recharging my mobile pack also, right? Because your content is content consumes a lot of bandwidth, right? So especially in tier 2 places, tier 3 places, that might itself become a bottleneck, right? You keep recharging your paid pack, right? So how do you solve that problem for the paid user, right? So these are some problems that paid users might be facing, right? For non-users, I think for non-users it's probably a different problem altogether, right? It has nothing to do with content availability. They are, I think for non-users it's as simple as they don't understand Hotstar as an offering in the market, right? Your brand positioning for them is not strong enough, right? Or one problem is that. The other problem is that like by like you are not really competing with the that particular customer demographic is not really your target ICP or your target segment, right? He's more a Netflix kind of guy, right? And maybe you probably never aspire to be a Netflix kind of. So you might want to see what kind of slices and dices are available, but maybe there is a Netflix guy who's only interested in Hollywood and premium English content, and maybe Hotstar will never become that kind of player. Hotstar is a more mass player, right? So what Hotstar would do is, if there are big, large pockets within the non-user segment, which actually overlays with the mass appeal that Hotstar has, right? And you will go after those, right? So maybe you find that, you know what, there is a good OTT sort of market in, let's say, regional language in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, in Maharashtra, but you are not offering uh, you don't have a good product offering for those large markets, right? Maybe you don't have a deep enough regional content catalog, right? Or you are not able to sort of convince those users that, you know what, the kind of originals that you are coming up with actually appeals to their sensibilities, right? Or you don't have local actors or whatever, right? So you are not appealing to their local sensibilities, etc. Could be a problem for those non-users, right? So you have to again slice it further and then identify the pain points.
Great. I think as you were saying, right, I have noted down the key things. Basically, bucketing those pain points into these levers. Right. So, guys, you do we? I mean, we are actually we have run out of time. We have to do more things. So, I'm stopping the Q and A and then moving to the rest of things. Okay. So, prioritizing the pain points, right? I think this particular point, this can be done in many ways. Basically, output versus input ratio. When you look at, there are many metrics. The rice matrix is a Kano model is there. Rice matrix, it basically talks about reach into impact into confidence divided by effort. That basically tells output with respect to input. Whichever has some more output with respect to the minimal input, you prioritize that first, right? So out of these things, let's quickly prioritize and then go into the solution part, right? I think Anurag, if, with your help, which one should we prioritize to solve first? I'm not asking this
I
question to the
think,
users.
yeah, let's go down the path of affordability.
Okay, affordability is
And
one point.
yeah, let's first pick affordability, and then maybe we can also talk about not able to convince the value proposition. That might be an interesting sort of bucket also.
Got it, got it. So basically, free users, though, we are
Yeah.
focusing on. Great. Now we have identified, we have prioritized that this
Just
is the
one
thing.
second.
Yes.
This on what basis are you prioritizing it? Anurag, could you please
Okay.
explain the
Like
framework?
you're asking Anurag, right? Okay.
Yeah, so actually the way I'm prioritizing this is basically the size of the problem,
Hmm.
right? For any large Indian OTT player, it's common knowledge that the free users are significantly higher than the paid users, right? If you look at the MAU ratio or the DAO
Hmm.
ratio, free users would probably be 85-90%
Hmm.
of your user base, and paid users will only be 10%, right? So it's
Yes.
pretty obvious that you have to focus on the free user bucket. And within free user bucket, obviously, one of the biggest constraints is how much you can get the user to pay, right? Vis-a-vis, how do you convince him that if he is going to part with 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, am I able to convince him of the value in return, whether I'm offering value worth 1000 rupees in return, right? Those are some of the pointers that you also pointed out, right? Saying that the show eventually is going to come free on TV or on some other platform. Why should I even go and sign up for it?
Got it. So okay. Great. Um, okay. Moving on. Let's brainstorm on solution about what all features that we can come up with, product driven solutions to increase to remove these pain points. Okay. First one is affordability. What are things we can do, guys?
Pay per use.
Okay. Pay per use. Next.
Like Anurag was telling, no sports pack, IPL pack, like dedicated CSK pack, something closer to that.
Pay per content type.
Or we can say customizable packages.
That is a separate customizable package. Any other points?
We can introduce credit system as well. Like
Yes.
somehow, if you are watching ads and all, then you can
Hmm.
give credits, and they can use
Hmm.
those credit to watch the content.
Right. See, I would say these two things. Right. When I'm saying affordability, there are two things. I have the money, all right, but I don't want to pay this much for Hotstar. That is one way, right? Next one is I don't have the money. I'm not rich. I don't have that much money. Okay, but I aspire to be in Hotstar, but as I cannot, right? These two are the major buckets, right? So let's think in terms of this. I think we have come up with all the things. Any other points?
Reduce the plan,
Credits
reduce the
you
price
guys are,
of subscription plans.
sorry.
Reduce the price of subscription plans.
Okay, reduce. But okay, this see this call when we say, right. I mean, I think it's very easy solution that if you reduce the price, more people will join. But you need to do some number crunching, right? It's usually like when you reduce the price, there is a loss of revenue that needs to be compensated by more number of people buying the new reduced package, right? Needs a lot of number crunching. We won't be able to do that in this particular case study, but I'll write that down just in case. Okay,
Okay, fine.
reduce the subscription cost. Any other thing?
Some referral bonus,
Okay, so basically discounts, right? Discounts if you refer something.
or yes, in essence, yes. It just gets adjusted against the money that you have already paid.
Okay, fine. Basically, it's a subset of reduce the subscription cost by doing something, right? It's a flavor. Okay. Any other things? Okay, if you guys are
Maybe
typing it
tying
out,
up with the mobile carriers so that it gets into the monthly bills.
what is the? I mean, how is that going to drive the revenue?
So maybe that would be like instead of upfront paying for maybe a year, if that is getting converted into small EMIs and that is in our mobile bill, sometimes what people feel is because they're already paying for it, maybe if it's postpaid plan, then it's just part of it and they won't feel that much pinch for the
Basically,
paying the price per
installment.
month.
Don't pay in one go. Pay in
Yeah,
installment.
yeah.
So this is kind of being implemented right now, right? We
Already, I
see
think
on
many
Geo, and there
Netflix
are
also.
Hotstar packs which you buy and you get the subscription for 2 3 months.
Yes, yes, yes. Anything else, guys?
I think
Offer this via bundlers.
Okay, bundled value proposition. You will bundle it with what?
So basically, organizations like Times Prime say offer bundles like this within which you also find, let's say, Hotstar.
Got
So
it.
that way you can get some more paid users.
Other brand services. Okay. Any other things that we can do?
is there any possibility of postpaid? Because every OTT platform upfront you first pay and then watch.
I think after paying, no one will. After watching, no one will pay. I feel. Now you've seen the movie, pay me. They will say, no, no, I didn't like the movie. I don't want to pay. I'm not sure post pay uh, will work here, right? But we'll leave it up to Anurag. He'll give his opinion as well at time. Okay, guys, let's move to the next one. We are running out of time. Um, Not able to convince the value proposition. I think few of these solutions, right? We already covered it in the first part, right? When you're bundling it with other brand services, then overall the value proposition looks very good, right? I'm able to pay for my internet services, along with it I'm getting Hotstar for free. So overall, as a value, it looks good. This is like, actually this should be here, actually here as well. Okay. Any other points?
Again, improving that suggestion, you know,
Hmm.
suggesting what do you call?
How recommendation, you're
Yeah,
saying?
recommendation engine to be improved.
Okay, that is a broad header. How would you do that?
So, like if I'm watching more of anime or something like that, something content like that, then rather than bombarding me with all other Bengali content and all those content, push me to that because that will engage me more.
Okay.
That is my
Okay,
interest.
I think this is a bigger topic, recommendation, because there are already many AI ML
Yeah, I guess
algorithms
this
who
is
would track
something like
everything would do. But there is one thing that is an input to this recommendation engine. Because if
We can do that. We can capture user current mood by simply a gamification method, and then we can showcase content based out of that. So
mode engine,
everyone's mood is different every time.
if that is no interesting suggestions, I think people they are already doing it in Spotify and those kinds of music apps, right?
Yeah, so something like traveling music and all.
Got it. Mode engine. Any other thing that we can do? Algo though it is
And
there, but what to do? What input should go to the algo to recommend better? What other things that we can do?
they can check what kind of content is being watched the most by the user.
I think
If you,
we already get as a separate bar, right? Top 10 shows in the world.
still that does not like for me in Hotstar, I've seen that I have consumed quite a content in Hotstar, but still I don't see that much of recommendation which would push me to watch again.
Got it.
Still,
Got it. Most watched content is not visible properly. Hmm? It is there, you're saying, but it's not properly shown. Is it?
yeah, it's like there is a band which is similar to every other band. Like
Hmm.
Bengali content is also being shown similar to that, like what content I'm watching, or other like Gujarati content is also being shown to
Hmm.
similar to like that what I'm watching right now.
Hmm.
It is all in a similar like. It is more of a UI thing, I guess.
Okay. Oh, not visible proper. Okay, we'll discuss this later. Any other points, guys? Not able to. How do you convince the value proposition to the users?
Exclusivity maybe that comes from bragging rights per se. So for example, I'm saying Game of Thrones I think was available on HBO Netflix. So people who would have only HBO would be able to say that I have seen the latest season of
Got it.
Game of Thrones.
Got it. Got it. Exclusivity. Yes. Any other points?
Maybe content share thing. So like we can uh, consider an example of Instagram where most of the time you visit Instagram when someone, your colleague or friend shares something with you and you go and watch that particular reel or SMS.
Okay.
So something like that. This is I find interesting documentary, and then I can pitch out to my content list so that notification goes under Hotstar, and then under Hotstar notification I'm able to see. Something like they do not need to run out the push notification every time, so users can do
Okay.
from their side. So according that means I get a relevant content because my friend circle know what I love
Hmm.
watch, something kind of
Okay.
that.
Are you saying that you can watch whatever your friends are watching in Hotstar itself? That information is something that Hotstar provides. You don't have
Yeah,
to go
matlab,
out of the
you,
ecosystem. That is the
you
value
and my
proposition.
good friend and you know my nature. So if you are watching something, you can directly share me within a watch
Hmm.
Hotstar. So
Hmm.
notification will get pushed from the Hotstar only. So when I click on notification, that directly content get run. So
Okay. Okay. See that
I
that
think
that can be
here Anirudh
one.
wants to say, Anirudh, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Anirudh here wants to say, and if someone wants to share
Hmm.
what they watched,
Okay.
they can recommend their friends over the Hotstar itself.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that is like in this part you're saying, right? Recommendation engine. It could be based on that suggestions from friends.
Not the recommendation is like machine learning. They are learning the user, but it's recommended by friend or someone,
No,
right?
no. Recommendation engine I've written, right? It not just have to be ARML. It recommends based on some your friend suggestions, right? That is also one of the
Yeah,
inputs. It is sharing
yeah,
that. There is
got
no matching algo there. It just straight away shares
it.
whatever your friend says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suggestions
Right.
from friends. It can be broadly put under recommendation.
Yeah, you can.
Recommendation of content. Okay. Any other things that
Okay.
we can? How do you convince the? I mean, value proposition. Any other things that we say?
Again, one more thing in recommendation could be that like what is being watched right now. I don't see that in Hotstar. Like what's trending. It's like
Okay.
in YouTube you can see what is trending. You should watch. You can watch that or like that. Which
Okay.
show is trending? What is going viral
Basically,
right now?
second point, trending most watched content is not visible properly.
Yeah. Oh, I gave it again.
Okay. Any other
Okay.
thing separate? I think recommendation though we have given enough things there, right? Basically, we say that we recommend the right content to see the value. Okay, it is there. Hotstar has the content, but that is not visible. We are making it, visible. Recommending better content. That is like taken care. Any other things that we can do?
So I am coming from more like a marketing perspective of Indian consumers. When Maruti gives its car, it says kitna deti hai. So similarly, if we can put it out in the face of the consumer before they buy it, that if you pay this much, these are the things that you are getting. After that, they go into this, they buy it and see that there are the recommendations coming. So even before that, I am saying, if you pay 500 bucks, you will not only get live content, but you will get movies, you will get TV shows, you will get this and that and that, and for this much amount of time. So laying it in front of the customer maybe would help them to understand the value proposition more.
Okay, wouldn't they already? Aren't they already doing this? Like unlimited content, unlimited movies, friends, whatever you can watch. Okay, I think they won't specifically say only you can watch 100 movies, right? I think any paid plan it will show everything, and I think they're already doing this in a way. Okay, I think putting it as a value. Separately, these many count of movies you can watch, these many sports shows. Not sure of whether it will be a good thing or not. But and I'll write this down. You're saying it is not, or if they are already doing it, it's still not clear. That is the
It's not
point, right?
clear, is what I'm saying. Yes.
Make
One
it
more
clear.
point. Can we do it in such a way like currently on OTT platform, if you're watching some movies or something like only you are able to see only that. So can we do that along with the movie? You are able to directly filter out the songs within that movies or the comedy clips within that movies. So it will be handy for me. Okay, I want to watch that particular clip. I will go search and just click on that particular movie, and I will get the list of songs in within that movies and also the comedy clips in that movie, or particular clips in within that movies. So sometimes
Okay.
like you go on YouTube and search on that. So instead of that,
Okay. Basically saying use the content that is available and try to
yes,
find the sub content. It could be songs, comedy shows, show everything.
yes,
Create a
yes.
new different type of content you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using your
Within a
existing
same
content.
content,
Yeah, this
in
is
the same region
interesting.
content.
Uh, use a provide a search engine for sub content.
Yep.
Sub content in the sense from your existing content. Okay, let me just track this out. This is interesting. Okay, like songs, comedy scenes. I think they're already doing this, especially Sun TV. If you go right, you can see comedy scenes separately being put of the movie that they already own. All right. Okay. Anyhow, I think we'll stop here. I think we have run out of time. Right. I'm not going to specifically talk about evaluation now. Let's do all of them here itself. Okay. Evaluation of the metrics and then success metrics. I think Anurag, I think can you give your opinion about these things before we move to the
Yeah.
next?
Yeah. So I think the list looks really good. Affordability, I think it's a great list.
Hmm.
Just quickly summarize it. So the way I would also do it is like think of different ways in which I can slice. Like you want to give the user eventually the content that he wants to watch. Maybe he's not interested in your entire thing, right?
Hmm.
And when you make it a bundle offering, the problem is the constraint is that
Hmm.
I'm being forced to pay for content that I'm not even interested in,
Hmm.
right? So that is why you basically start making you basically think about those lines, that how can the user pay as per his content interest, right? Maybe
Hmm.
I'm only interested in entertainment content, general entertainment content, or I'm only interested in movies, I'm only interested in sports. So I make those packs, right? Then affordability starts going in the direction of like we discussed already, like time based slices, right? And the like the pure sort of the 100% sort of extreme example of this is you are able to customize 100% on the time dimension also, and you are 100% able to customize it on the content type dimension also, that I want to pay only for one day for this particular content,
Hmm.
right? That basically becomes that. Reduce the subscription cost is an interesting one. You probably don't want to reduce it directly for your B2C offering, but you might be able to partner with someone, like I said, right? And they might be able to cover some of the costs, right? So
Hmm.
eventually you are making the same revenue. So for example, like I said, maybe you want to partner with Vodafone, right? And so the eventual money that you are getting per user is 1,000 rupees only,
Hmm.
but 200 rupees is being paid by Vodafone to you because you are giving them your content, right?
Hmm.
And for the end subscriber, the cost is actually 800 rupees, right? So you're able to make it more affordable for the end user, but your revenue does not, right? Because you are making the exact 1,000 rupees, where some of the costs are being subsumed by your partner, right? So this is a very standard strategy that you use in any world, right? Even like, for example, travel make my trip, you partner with banks, and banks sort of subsume some of the costs or discounts that you're offering to your end user, right? Very standard strategy, right? So that's one way you can reduce this subscription cost or offer discounts by partnering with someone. And the last one, just from an affordability perspective, is basically someone was talking about pay later, right? If you are not willing to offer pay later yourself, maybe you want to partner with a pay later company, right? So you want to partner with, let's say, Simple, right? Or you want to partner with whosoever, right? Anyone who has a buy now pay later offering, and that allows you to unlock a whole new set of free users that you would not have been able to able to do otherwise. The credit risk is not being taken by you; the credit risk is being taken by your partner, depending on whatever data points. Right? Now coming to the value proposition bit, so value proposition is very simple, right? First thing is, I should be able to convince you about the value proposition, right? So I need an outlet through which I can show you my value, right? So one way of that could be sampling, right? So let's say I offer you a trial pack of a trial pack for, let's say, 1 week when you come, right? And the trial pack basically allows you to access the premium content also, right? If I only show you the free content, right, you never get to see the value of the premium content, right? How would you even sample the premium content and actually know that the premium content works for you, right? So that's one big way, right? The other big way are product offerings that will satisfy your needs, right? So for example, again, why does a paid user become a paid user, right? So one of the reasons is you want, like, one of the points that was pointed out, right, that you want to see that content before everyone else, right? Otherwise, what's the point, right? So for example, product offerings like premiering shows at the same time that it is being released on TV, right? So, for example, imagine Game of Thrones, right? So, imagine, like, every OTT platform has some hero content, right? Now, imagine that hero content is being premiered at the same time as the rest of the world, right? So, imagine Game of Thrones, where it will be released on TV in India at least 2 months later, right? If I want to see Game of Thrones at the same time that the rest of the world is seeing, the only way is to basically premiere it on OTT, right? So imagine Hotstar builds a premiere, like a screening offering where it is being screened on OTT at the same time it is being made available to the rest of the world, right? Of example, some marquee movies where you have content partnerships, it is being premiered on the OTT platform at the same time it is being released on in a movie theater, right? Those kinds of things will bring that exclusivity, right? That okay, this is really worth signing up for, right? So that's another way of doing it, right? uh, the third way of doing it is basically driving a lot of, like, I have to keep pinching you, right? I have to drive FOMO in you, right? That if you are not on Hotstar, you are missing something, right? How do I do it? How do I do it? By basically driving discovery of a lot of statistics, right? For example, why did Hotstar do 20 million people watching concurrently, right? It became a metric that drove a lot of FOMO in the users, right? Everyone else is on Hotstar, I'm not there, right? So FOMO is another way in which you will be able to convince the value proposition, right? And the final thing is the standard sort of product offerings, right? That okay, I'm offering you a multi-device experience, I'm offering you a great sort of viewing experience. There's Dolby sound, right? There is 4K HD streaming, right? All kinds of good stuff that you can build from a product perspective, right? And then again, give, like I said, make a sampling proposition that allows the user to experience, for example, Dolby sound. Until unless you have experienced it, you will never feel the value, understand the value of it, right? So maybe allow a user to sample one cool Disney movie with full Dolby effect, right? And that then basically convinces you about the value proposition.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I think we have covered everything. We don't have time, so let's just quickly evaluate one particular solution. Let's say pay per use, right? And then let's define the metrics. Okay. Let's evaluate, guys. Like, what could be the pros and cons of pay per use? And Anurag already covered this as well. What could be the pros, cons? Guys, do we? I think all of us are in. It's already 10:30. I think we should quickly wrap it up. Anurag, let's do this. People
Yeah,
can see.
yeah. Happy to wrap it up. Yeah.
Let's just say the pros and cons, Anurag, and then let's
Yeah.
define a metric.
So I think the pay per use, the pro is that you are unlocking a much larger user segment, right? Which
Hmm.
you were not able to because of the affordability reasons. The
Okay.
con is that with a longer sort of tenure or with a longer sort of
Hmm.
content pack, you are able to lock the revenue for a much
Exactly.
longer time.
Cash
Now
flows.
you have to sort of
Hmm.
increase your retention efforts even more significantly, right? That
Hmm.
make sure that all of these users actually don't drop off after pay per use and they actually sort of continue being a paid subscriber for
Hmm.
slightly more longer, right? And you kind of keep pushing that user to longer packs, right?
Hmm.
So the retention efforts will have to become even more significant if you want to actually get value out of this.
Yes. Great. I think then the key metrics. If I am implementing this feature, pay per use, I think two things are important, right? On a daily level or on a monthly level, what is the number of users who subscribe to pay per use, and what is the order value? And at the same time, am I getting a drop? The cons that we mentioned, it cash flows will get affected. Am I getting a drop in other subscription values that I'm providing, other subscription products? It could be like monthly product.
Absolutely. So a high value subscriber might start signing up for a lower value because
Exactly.
you know
Hmm.
feel that okay, this option
Hmm.
is there, let me go for
With-
that one.
So that metric is something you need to track, and you need to track the renewal rate as well, renewal rate of every other product that you're providing, because that will get affected. And even the pay per use model that you're providing, you need to check the renewal rate of that as well. So these are the key metrics we should track: pay per users count, order value, and then other subscription product revenue and attrition, and then renewal rates,
New
right?
subscription also.
And that is pay per users count, right? New subscription, like they will come into this feature, this particular count and the order value.
Okay.
Okay. I think we have covered, right, Anurag? I think we have covered
Yeah.
everything.
Broadly, these are the metrics. Though I would always lead with a like a one sort of one metric that covers everything, which
Hmm.
is the average ARPU of the user, right? So you
Okay.
would be tracking average ARPU,
Overall.
and you would be further, yeah, and then you will be sorry, ARPU already has average, right? So
Hmm.
you'll be tracking ARPU, and then you will further be breaking down into the individual sort of
These kinds of things. Got it.
metric. Yeah, correct.
Key metric would be the North Star is this.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guys, I think we've covered. I think the rest, but the evaluation we have done, defining the success metric, and at the last, you have to summarize whatever you have learned, right? Whatever we have done in the case study, in a simple way, so that everyone is on the same page. You have to do this to the interview, right? This is how you should do the case study before you guys drop off. So just stay on. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys, for staying, and thanks a lot for Anurag. For giving us his insights on a very important topic. Thanks a lot, Anurag, and I wish to have you for one more session at the end.
Yeah, yeah,
In
absolutely.
future.
Be happy to come back again. It was, I think, a great experience for me also.
Thanks a lot, Anurag.
Thank you so
Thank you, team. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Have a good night.
Can you please repeat what we have to do exactly on the comment?
Great. You can comment about PCG, and you can tag your friends as well. Like and then comment. That's it. Up to
Okay.
you. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you for staying back so late.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Everyone.